Hi guys, Shanny with Healing Elements. How are you guys doing? So I can feel the energy dipping a little bit just because when we all first got introduced to Aries season end of March, I think the energy collectively was like, yes, like bring it, let's do it, God of War type of Russian energy, Thor, all that good stuff, Mars. And now it's the 12th. I think it's dipping down a little bit. That being said, I'll get right into it. One of, my pledges for this year, and then setting my intentions every new moon since the new year, and this is really kind of feels to me like it's the astrological new year, obviously, Aries being the first sign, first house. I set my intentions to, continue to do my healing work and work with everybody, and I can explain in another video, what I do. I just want to heal as my life purpose, and it's not about how many people, it's about who. So there's been people who have been, suicidal or dealing with the twin flame or a false twin flame, or wondering if they're crazy because they're having so much profound energy relating to everything, the downloads, the concept of awakening, etc. So that being said, one of my pledges and one of me setting my intentions was to go on and just talk and sip some tea, and explain some of my experiences, and they're honest experiences, you know what I mean? And a lot of it has made sense since 2015, since it really got incredible what I was able to do with my gifts, etc. So literally this is going to be about my encounter with 3 other people, all sober, when I was 19 years old. After being picked up at the Salt Lake City, Utah airport, driving on the freeway, which was kind of fucking weird at the time, 666, Highway 666, going through Utah to get to Mancos, M-A-N-C-O-S, tiny little town in Colorado, by Four Corners, okay? Where the Anasazi Indians, they have their cliff dwellings, which we toured, me and these 3 other people. It was my aunt, uncle, and an old friend of mine. Their signs are, if you're wondering, so I'm Pisces. I was with a Virgo, a Gemini, and a Cancer. So it's awesome that there's another water sign, and actually my uncle was driving, and he was on the same side of the car as me, and we had literally, and we still do have the same reaction. It's like the earth sign and Gemini, Virgo and Gemini are ruled by Mercury. They're so communicative, but that's something, in particular the Virgo, just isn't communicative. Every time I see my uncle or talk to my uncle, I'm like, let's chat about that. Like, wow, what we saw. So anyway, it was not an experience that was one of those which is fine, I'm sure it was something significant, but it wasn't one of those things that was like from afar. Like, we didn't see, it from way far away. We undoubtedly saw something about 20 yards at one point. It came 20 yards from us, and this thing was as big, at least as big as a mountain. We compared it to, like a coliseum, a sport coliseum. I mean, it was just ginormous, and it did things that were, at the time, a concept to me where I just really, I was 19 years old. I had always been empathetic and psychic and open-minded to, UFOs, blah, blah, blah. But it really, shook me, because I saw something with 3 other people that, up to that point, I had been programmed by society or whatnot to believe didn't exist, and that you were crazy if you were to report something like this. And plus, I mean, you're taught in school about physics and what we have the capacity to do on this planet or in America, whatever. And when I was 19 years old and I saw this in Utah, I then knew that they, whatever you subscribe to, reptilians, the Illuminati, you subscribe to just evil people, evil entities. If you subscribe to them knowing about this technology and keeping it quiet, that's one perhaps, okay? The other perhaps is this UFO, that I'll explain what it looked like in a minute. What I saw was from another star system. So I'll tell you on the next video what happened to me when I was put into a guided meditation in 2017 with a Pisces sun, Pisces moon, beautiful channeler from Pakistan. I love her, shout out. Yeah, we'll tell you about that. So in any case, let's just go back and explain. What we saw was true blue for a while. It was about a 10-minute ordeal, 10-minute of our recollection, right? And when we first saw it, we were on, of course, like the quintessential lonely desert highway, right? And, you know, just a huge field to our right, huge field to our left, and then way back in the distance, there was like mountaintops. So when it first happened, literally, our reactions were all the same, because for a minute, I thought I was going to die, because seeing something like that, and you've been programmed to believe that this is impossible, and it's so big, and it can literally, I mean, we were 1/200th of this thing, you know what I mean? And so when it first came over the mountaintops, all our reactions was to grab on to the person next to you and scream. And my aunt just went into autopilot, started rolling down the windows. Don't we wish this wasn't when I was 19 and later, because we all have iPhones nowadays. Like, I'm surprised that something that is incredible as what we saw is not documented. Maybe it has been put out, and the government, or, you know, secret society, or evil people, or just people who want to keep us dumbed down, numbed out, won't allow it to be seen. So in any case, what we saw, again, was as large as a stadium or a mountaintop. It was just typical, which is really gives you the chills, and the hair on your back of your neck stands up when you see other people then reporting, and then the commonalities are undeniable. So what we saw was, it looked concrete, is as best that I could describe, as like my Pisces mind, you know, they said silver gray but not shiny, we all agreed. So it looked like some sort of granite that had not been polished, that was so smooth. And of course, similar things that we saw, we've heard other people report. So again, I was sober going to visit my aunt and uncle. I'm never together with this group of people either. So it was not like I saw it with my future husband, which I was with back then, way when I was a kid, 19. Didn't see it with my kids later on in the future, and my mom, nothing. So we saw no doors, no windows, no noise, because my aunt in autopilot went to roll down the window as it approached us. And when I mean approached, the way that it traveled was showing itself with 3 white lights in a triangle that were separate. It's difficult to understand unless you've seen it, but there's 3 white lights, beautiful white lights that we could look into without harming our eyes or getting any kind of, you know, light in your eye that stays, okay? So it's a beautiful, pure white light, 3 of them, and they were like 1, 2, 3 in a triangle, kind of like illuminating the ship for us to see, okay? And it first came over the mountaintop, and it flashed on the 3 lights, and you saw the huge UFO underneath it. Well, what it would do, and that's why we literally were, you know, some of us were crying, screaming. It literally was scary for a minute, and for a couple days, you know, and I wrestled with it in my mind until I finally am good with it after, obviously, you know, doing so much research in spiritual awakening, knowing now what it is, which I'll say that in the second video, in my opinion. So in any case, it would go like this, and like before you can snap your fingers, in half a second, it would, you know, the lights would dim, and then it would reappear, like from way over there, the mountaintops, right in front of our car, literally, like I said, like 25 yards away in the field to the right of us. So it would illuminate itself to like show us. And it didn't do anything, obviously, in harm to us. So it was kind of like, hey, here I am. And, you know, we even questioned it after to be like, do you think that the government is like that, and they have something like that, and they just don't tell us? Because I'll fast forward to the end of the 10 minutes or whatnot that we saw it. There's no way that, you know, after seeing what I'm about to tell you, you can come to any other conclusion than, you know, it was either time travelers from the future that are us, or extraterrestrials, because what it did is show itself like that, you know, coming and putting the lights on top, doing some things with the lights. They were, again, disconnected from the body of this gray circle sphere of a ship or some sort of vessel that floated very still, no movement in the air. It didn't hover, it just was like posted, and no sound, no windows, no doors, nada. Okay, so it would, like, you know, do that, go back and forth and in different positions of the field for about 10 minutes, and then, you know, to our surprise, and there at this time had a semi-truck was behind us, and we knew we had another witness, and he literally was so scared, he went barreling down the 2-lane highway, and my uncle, they call him Rocket Man, he was a cool ass cancer. he literally put the pedal to the metal. We were going like 85 or something crazy because we were scared to death. And the semi truck passed us on a 1-lane highway and like honked at us like, yep, validation. So that's the other witness. My uncle tried to actually follow him and then stop at the first gas station because we thought we were naive. We thought if we called the police and we reported this because we were all sane people, that they would be like, oh my God, you know, this is documented, da, da, da. No, they're just like, oh yeah, we hear that all the time. Call them UFO. It was like just founded then. I'm like, I don't know. So what it did at the end that made the trucker get all scared and go around us is it literally showed itself to us, and in a half a second, eighth of a second, fraction of a second, it took off way high. Like it just shot up and took off. So it was my experience to see really, really close, not in the sky with the stars, really close, you know, a vessel that is absolutely undeniably either covered up here, which would be crazy too, or beautifully, it was other entities that obviously were peaceful to me and my aunt and my uncle and my friend. So I'm gonna end this video. I just wanted to tell you my pledge this year, and my intentions are to definitely get some of my experiences with channeling, with dreams, precognitive dreams, with, you know, seeing that UFO, different things that have happened to me when I was younger, very young, before my kids, and experimented with mushrooms and acid, which I did a long time ago, so pump the brakes. I'm not saying it's okay, kids, if you're listening. I'm just saying things that are undeniable, kind of like what people talk about with the ayahuasca experience. Like me and my best friend would have, you know, the same exact, go in different rooms and have the same exact, not even hallucinations, just experiences, feelings, sights, sounds that were spiritual. So that being said, there's gonna be a lot of topics. I'll try to put like a playlist where it's just like Shanny Testifies, right? Maybe I'll call it that. I love you guys. Blessings, love, and light. If you want to comment or email me, you know what I'm saying, any kind of experiences you guys have had with that. I mean, we're not talking about channeling other outer beings. That's for another video. But I'm talking about something that you saw in concrete. And it's funny because it did look like concrete. Bye, guys.